Episode 166. An urge to ravish him. The moment Serena walked into the room, she smelled faint tobacco. Looking inside, she felt a chill as cold wind blew on her skin. The window was open, the white curtains fluttered, and it was dark outside. The moon was bright and the stars were scant. The trees danced in the wind. Standing in front of the window, Jake was still wearing his suit. His elbow on the window frame, he had a cigarette between his fingers. The smoke was blown towards the room. The ash on the cigarette were hanging long, almost falling. Noticing someone had entered, Jake did not turn around. He slowly flicked the ashes into the ashtray and said in a deep and calm voice, "Do you hate me?" The sudden question made Serena's heart thump, like a planet hit by an asteroid. "Do you hate me?" The short question reminded her of all her sadness and frustration. Gazing at his back, her eyes dimmed and then became wet. "How can I hate you? You are Jake. My husband, Jake." Quickly drying her eyes, she pretended that she had heard nothing and went to search the closet. Although they had not been back in a while, Emma had put their fall clothes into the closet for them, so that they could come back any time. She took out her nightgown and went into the bathroom, since she could not help bursting into tears. She was not someone who liked to cry. Even when she was beaten that hard by those rich ladies, she only grit her teeth instead of crying. However, when it came to Jake, she could not stop her tears. He had such a huge impact on her. No matter in her last lifetime or this one, she could not be indifferent in front of him. Each time she saw him, her heart still raced. How could she hate someone like this? Clearly noticing that she had walked away, Jake put out the cigarette, closed the window, and sat on the sofa next to the bed. After sitting in silence for a while, he heard someone knocking on the door. He opened the door and saw Emma. "Mr. Robinson, this is the healthy dessert that Captain Robinson told me to bring to the missus. Can you give it to her later?" Jake glanced at it and frowned. "It is not healthy to have something sweet so late." "It's not for you anyway. Just give it to her. Grandpa specifically asked me to prepare it."
"Okay."
Jake took it.
"I'll give it to her."
"You can have some as well. The taste is pretty good." Emma had a fishy smile on her face, glancing inside the door. Jake was too caught up with his personal turmoil and didn't notice that smile.
"She's in the shower. You can leave it to me."
"Here." Emma gave the tray to Jake and walked away after closing the door. However, after Emma left, she looked worried. Walking into the living room, she said to Captain Robinson, "Will it have the intended effect? What if he had the wrong idea?"
"Don't worry. Those two are married and should be able to make up soon. We are only aiding the process to happen faster."
Waving his hand, Captain Robinson gazed in the direction of Jake's room. Letting out a sigh, he said,
"I hope the boy can understand my effort. I have sacrificed my reputation for him."
After Serena got out of the shower, she had calmed herself down. Seeing Jake smoking on the sofa, she only glanced at him and sat on the bed while drying her hair.
"Grandpa asked Emma to make you a healthy dessert. Drink it while it's hot."
Jake then stood up and walked into the shower. She looked at the bowl on the table. It was bird's nest stew with rock candy and dates. This was a specialty from the Southeast Asian cuisine, which Captain Robinson loved. Touching the bowl, Serena felt the temperature was right. She quickly drank it up and put the bowl back. The taste was quite good. She turned on the hairdryer and began drying her hair. This made her feel kind of hot. She put on her slippers and walked away from the bed towards the bowl outside where the tray was kept. Getting a glass of cold milk from the tray, she quickly gulped it down and went back to the bed area. However, when she was back in the bedroom, she felt even hotter and slightly uncomfortable. She opened the window and the cold wind was refreshing. After standing at the window for a while, she felt a bit dizzy and leaned against the wall. The water stopped running in the shower and the door was soon opened. Without even turning around, Serena could picture his naked body. The sexy tan, the well-toned body. She imagined water dripping down his abs. She stopped herself. What was she thinking? Why is she getting such urges? Serena covered her face, finding her cheeks were burning up. So hot. She tugged her nightgown and whispered to herself, "The fabric is too thick." Jake seemed to have heard that, glanced at her, and continued to dry his hair with a towel. The wind was getting stronger, blowing the curtains up. Feeling a bit chilly, he put the towel down and said in a deep voice, "Close the window." However, Serena stood motionless, as if she had heard nothing. He frowned, walked past her without even looking at her, and closed the window. Seeing his body with only a towel wrapped around his waist, Serena felt her mouth had become dry. She stepped back and plunged herself into the bed, covering her face with a comforter. Why? Why? Why was this happening to her? What was happening to her? As soon as she saw him, she had an urge to ravish him. What the hell? She began feeling hot, but in a flushed sort of a way. She couldn't help but imagine doing things to Jake. With him. Buried in the comforter, she felt a stronger heat wave. Her skin was flaming. As hot as she felt, she did not have a single drop of sweat. It was like she was having a fever. Serena couldn't help letting out a moan. Wriggling, she lifted the comforter and felt refreshed by the cool air. So hot. She secretly put down a leg and lifted her nightgown. The cold air on her leg made her feel better. However, she caught a glimpse of Jake flashing her a weird look. Shrinking back, Serena put the comforter over her face again, not letting him see her. Seeing her like that, Jake paid no attention and yanked his towel off. He slowly took a silk robe and put it on. As soon as she saw his body, she couldn't help clenching her legs and picturing him coming down closely on her. Ouch! Serena gasped as she fell hard onto the floor.